Powered by Riverside.
Hey, welcome to Blue Banner Postgame Show. We are live here from the Nick Ultra Arena in Las Vegas, Nevada. And just got done watching the Jays go down to Baylor 81-74. We're going to jump right into Coach's Corner. We got Jasen Green taking a shower and getting ready. He'll be here in a little bit. And we've got assistant coach Jeff Vanderloo with us. Hi, Coach.
Hi, how are you doing?
All right. Boy, that was a very competitive game. High level basketball game. And, that was our best game of the year by far.
Yeah, I don't think there's any doubt about it that we played well. We certainly had our chances down the stretch. A couple things didn't go our way. A couple calls didn't go our way. But, those things all happen in games like this. But I thought from start to finish, that was our best outing other than on the glass.
Yeah, absolutely. They killed us on the glass. There were times we went to the small with Jasen at the 5.
Yep.
And we were effective.
Yeah.
So that was kind of the trade-off, right?
Right. And it's it doesn't. They were coming off that ball screen so hard there, and Jasen was able to get down and guard. That's certainly something that helped us there. But if you get a little bit, you got to give a little bit back. And but we certainly got to get some rebounding out of our 3s and 4s also.
Yeah, we do. Overall, I walk away from this more, like a loss, but you walk away a little bit more encouraged.
I would agree. You can see a product that's going to look okay.
Yeah, we kind of got off to a terrible start.
Yep.
Slow start both ends of the floor.
Yep.
But I thought once about the 8-minute mark, 8 minutes played in the first half, we kind of settled in. We played them even from that point on, and then obviously took control. The other thing too, you got to realize. I was just shaking my head up there. I'm like, they're not a great 3-point. Carr is really good, but they're not a great 3-point shooting team, and they were 75% for the first half.
I think they started the game out 4 for 4.
That was 6 for 6.
They're 6 for 6.
Yeah,
and some of those guys that are 20% 3-point shooters.
Yeah,
and all of a sudden they're rolling in 3s. It was just like, dang, man.
And we withstood that.
Yeah, we did.
Too.
Yep. We stayed on them at like, hey, they're not going to continue to do this.
Right.
They can't do this. They're not going to, and it all leveled out by the end. But
yeah,
it was.
But I mean, that's just another step in the learning curve. Like, okay, look, we withstood a poor start by us, plus a unreal shooting percentage by them. Now, to our credit, their credit, what have you, they came back to earth in the second half. They were at 10% for quite a while.
Yeah.
So I mean, they're more to the mean, and
right.
for the game to mean. The meantime, at halftime, I'm looking at them going, my God, our best 3-point shooting night of the year, and we're getting smoked by
them. Well, we haven't had a lot of good 3-point shooting nights. So I guess what were we there? 11 for 29. So 38%.
We missed, but I think we missed our last 4 or 5.
Right.
Yeah,
we did. We had it right there, and then I think they went. We didn't score 5 possessions in a row. Kind of.
Yeah. I had it up. They had it on the live stat one. We had gone over 3 minutes. We were 1 from 8 from the field in 3 minutes.
Yep.
And that was kind of the difference that when we had it 60-60 or 62-62.
Yep.
That turned it.
But overall, without Jackson, first game without Jackson, I guess I was very encouraged. I saw a lot of great things there.
Yeah.
Our prayers go out to Jackson. He had surgery today, so hopefully everything went well and he'll bounce back.
Absolutely. Yeah. Well, let's talk Hudson Greer. Nice move on pulling that red shirt.
Yeah. Well, it's not the red shirt. It was just such a weird, it was an interesting deal because a lot of days at practice, Hudson was the best of the wings. And some days he was the 4th best. And some days he was and it was just like, we don't want to waste this kid's year if we can't get him enough playing time. And then finally it was like, he brings the one thing the rest of these guys kind of lacks, a little grit, a little toughness. And he's Hudson's about winning, and he's going to be a great player at Creighton. And if everybody's patient with him, I think really big things.
We saw it today. Got off to a little rough start, turned it over, a little rattle up, but then, my God, that one, his most impressive shot was that 2 late in the game from the corner when the shot clock. I mean, that was a tough shot. That was really guarded.
Yep, he's played a lot of high level basketball.
Absolutely.
He's a good player, and I don't think when the red shirt was being talked about, nobody ever said that he wasn't a really good player. We all think he's a good player, and he's gonna. But he's done a good job, and he plays hard, and he rebounds and stuff, and he's certainly our most physical player.
Yeah, and then obviously with Jackson going down, that kind of opened up the rotation because now Jasen is not coming off the bench, and now we're. So I think in some ways the guys are a little more that are here now are a little more defined in their roles.
It's certainly getting there. We still got to define our center position a little bit more. And I mean, there's certainly times and places for Isaac because that boy can really shoot the basketball.
I was glad to see him finally get some knocking down today.
As was I. Yeah, and as many hours as he spent shooting that thing, I'm glad to see a few of them go in.
Yeah, and those are some big threes that got us rolling in that run we had.
Yep.
Yeah, and I thought the first half, when we were kind of struggling and kind of going basket for basket, keeping in there, I thought Karam really brought some stuff to the game.
I thought Karam looked good for a while there. Yeah, no doubt about it. It's and there's still Karam is learning about us, and we're learning about him every day. I mean, it's most people have the luxury of having their guys around all summer. Well, Owen was hurt, and he actually just came back after practice officially started, and Karam didn't get here till basically September, and so it was it's just a learning process. Those guys will be fine. They're both good players.
Nice having the Iowa State fans in the crowd too. They're clearly rooting for Creighton.
Yeah, it's always
which is a little unusual, but
right. I mean, they don't have any angst towards us.
No, they don't want Baylor to win.
Right, their angst is Baylor. That's a rival of theirs. So
they probably think, well, we can.
Yep,
we own one for the exhibition game. Huh?
Yep. So
how much can you take away? I mean, obviously Lipsy. I mean, I just chuckle when I saw. Yeah, he's coming back tonight. He's going to play maybe 5-10 minutes. He had 25 points his first time.
Yeah,
it's like, how much can you take from the exhibition game? I mean, because they're obviously a different team without him.
Yeah, there's no question. I mean, I think Ken Palm has him as one of the 5 or 6 best players in the country right now.
Yeah.
And so, I mean, you take a top 6 player in the country out of your lineup, it's going to affect you. And the one thing he adds besides just being a good overall player, he adds toughness, and he's a winner. He makes winning plays. I mean, there's something can be said.
He is tough. That's a great one word for him. Yeah.
And he makes good winning plays, and so it will certainly give us something else to deal with. But putting him in is going to take somebody out. So, I mean that's I'm sure they're still trying to get things figured out. Although everybody there planned on playing Lipsy 30-some minutes a game, I'm sure, because he's a phenomenal player.
We talked briefly about Owen before we jump ahead to Iowa State. Talked about Owen. Still not up to speed yet.
Oh, no. Yeah. We didn't think, but I guess all of us were kind of hoping maybe by Christmas time, and we're it's Thanksgiving time, the Christmas time. And now it's, he's just got to trust it. He's got to trust the knee, trust the process, trust us. And then the physicality part of it, I think, will come once everything else kind of starts to fall in place for him. So he's, I mean, does he got to play better? Absolutely does. But is he playing the best he can? Probably right now, he absolutely.
Yeah.
I mean, he's only been back. I think they were saying it was going to be 4 to 6 months, and we're in month 5 right now.
Yeah.
So that's kind of, I guess, where we're at with that. And he had some really good moments there to start second half. He had a couple steals, layup, things like that.
Absolutely. Got us going. Got it right out the
really
gate. Because I tweeted out, I said, hey, this next 5 minutes, because everybody's like, da-da-da. And I go, hey, look, the last 12 minutes, we played them even.
Right.
And it hasn't been, it hasn't been a fluke even. We've been even. I said, this next 5 minutes, let's see what happens out of the halftime. Great adjustment by you guys. You came with the double team on Carr. That really rattled him.
Yep, it did. We thought it might. We actually thought about doing it with about 2 minutes left in the first half. And we're like, let's not do it right now, because it'll give them the advantage of being able to talk about it at halftime. So, we came out of halftime with that and made that decision, and worked out real well. He didn't like it, but they made some good plays.
Yeah.
I mean, we tipped in 2 rebounds. We tip in for them.
Yeah. That was very odd. You might see one
the rest of the year,
a month.
Yeah.
And there was 2 within like 5-10 minutes of each other. I couldn't believe it. In our, we were right there. The ball's like hanging on the rim. And then frankly, there'd have been another one, but they goaltended
it. Right.
Yeah. They're probably doing 3 of them.
Yep.
It was crazy.
No doubt.
But yeah, I mean, you can't fault the effort. Great effort especially after we got it got into our a little bit relaxed and comfortable.
Yeah.
Do you think the fact that we had accent, obviously with no Lipsy, but the fact that we've already gone up 40 minutes, especially like the bigs with their physicality, so do you think that's really going to help going into this matchup? Because we kind of are comfortable now. We know what we're facing.
Right. There shouldn't be any secrets.
Yeah.
I mean, they're going to force us to the baseline. They're going to trap us hard.
And you can't go to the baseline.
Yeah. And if you do, you better get rid of it real fast. So it's something that our guys have all seen, so they kind of understand the process. Now you just got to make those plays. In the first half, last time against them in the exhibition, we really did. We went up 20-some points and looked real good. And so it'll be interesting. Now, another thing is they didn't shoot the ball very good that night from three, and they shot it a lot better lately. So we'll see how that all rolls.
Yeah, right. And I would think even with the Jackson injury, we're still pretty deep.
Yeah, we're definitely deep.
We're in these kind of tournaments. It kind of helps us out a little bit.
Yeah, no doubt. And hopefully it all pays off at the end here. And that's we need to come out of here with a win.
Yeah. Well, like I said, it was a really good effort, and nice job by the team to battle back the way they did. And what else you got to say to the Jays fan base?
Relax. It'll all be fine. It'll all be fine. We're getting better every game. That again tonight was the best one that we've had, and hopefully tomorrow's even better.
Relax, everybody.
Yeah,
relax.
Just relax.
Yeah. All right, Coach. Thanks so much.
All right, thanks.
Appreciate it.
You bet.
And Coach Lou's appearance is sponsored by RTI Threads. Go to rtithreads.com.
Sioux City, baby.
Yeah, there you go. Yep. Tons of billboards around Sioux City of RTI. So RTI Threads, exclusive apparel provider of Blue Jay Banner. And check out everything they have. We'll keep watching the show here. We got a little special for you here later on. So that's rtithreads.com, and more about them later. But we're going to go right into our player profile. And today it's none other than Mr. Jasen Green. How you doing, buddy?
I'm good. How are you doing?
We were speaking a little bit earlier. That was a real battle, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was a battle, especially on the boards. They out-rebounded us like crazy. Shouldn't happen, but we got to work on that.
Yeah, I mean, that they're really big and really athletic. And some of those were just like, I mean, a few of them were just,
right, like those
shot going up and it kind of, and those tip-ins, and
it hurts.
There were some, how many jump balls did we have over a rebound? And, we finally at the end, I think Isaac got one. I think you got one on an offensive rebound that was just a wild carom, I mean, it was like they were getting a lot of those. So, but yeah, you're right. We're going to play that lineup some, so we've got to be able to rebound.
Exactly. Yeah, I would agree with that 100%.
Coming into the game, what was your main theme against Baylor today?
Our main theme was we knew how physical they were, how hard they crashed the glass, and also how dangerous Carr was off the ball screen. So we were kind of focused on those things. And first half, I feel like we didn't execute as well as we could have. And we came out the second half with a different game plan. And it was working. We jumped his ball screens and we got a couple turnovers.
Yeah, that was big out of the second half.
Yeah, to a hot start, so that was good.
Yeah. I'm sure there's a lot of plays down the stretch you guys wish, you got it to 62, and then I think we went Lou and I were talking, I think we went 1 for 8. Just shots just weren't dropping all of a sudden.
Going in.
Yeah. But still, guys, you still kept battling. What did you think the key was down the stretch?
I think the key was just us playing team defense. They went away from that ball screen with Carr, which was kind of what we wanted to, and then they kind of went into a little zoom action for that. So we were kind of back to square one guarding that, and they were able to get a couple of buckets there. But I mean, overall, it was just us playing harder than them, getting the little loose balls in the ground, like diving for them, and just being able to make the little plays that would eventually make a difference in it.
Yeah. How did you feel the pace of the game today was?
I thought it was pretty good. I mean, both teams like to run, obviously, offensively. So it was kind of a battle to beat them down the floor and kind of get shots before they could set their defense up. And I think we did a pretty decent job of that. And also just us getting back on defense before they could, push the ball and get easy shots.
I noticed a couple of times it was in the second half. They were running a screen on the baseline. It was on my end. They were on a screen. They were screening Isaac, and then they were kind of leaving you with a oh boy, if I leave here, they're just going to dump it in and get a dunk.
Mhm.
If I don't get out there, if Isaac doesn't make it out there, then they're having a three.
Right.
That had to be tough to defend.
It was, yeah, because I just had to kind of read where Isaac was at. Because if he
Yeah.
was behind on the first screen, then I would have to switch out, and if he was there, then I wouldn't have to worry about it. But it was kind of just play by ear. If he's behind, switch it. If he's not, then stay. But it was a tough situation.
I was talking with Coach Lou. Credit to you guys too. I mean, you're right there. Probably, I would think you would agree. Your best game, the team's best game of the year.
Yeah, I would agree with that.
Especially losing Jackson.
Yeah.
I thought, oh God, there's going to be now we're doing another adjustment. We got new guys. Now we're doing another adjustment. But you guys went right into it. And the other thing I think that's very impressive is you got to remember that they're a 35% 3-point shooting team. Now, a small sample size, but still,
Right.
they were 6 of 6 right out of the gate.
That is,
And so that's 18 points they threw at you. And you guys overcame that.
We did, yeah. So it was obviously really tough right in the beginning. They hit a lot of shots that we didn't expect them to because we kind of were playing off of a couple of other players just being in the gaps a little bit more. And they obviously came out hitting shots, so we had to adjust to that. And it was just kind of a tough situation starting off the game. They got ahead of us quite a bit, and we just had to adjust to that and, try to guard the ball screens with just 2 players a little bit more.
Well, tomorrow, unfortunately, how about the fans, huh?
Yeah, no, I'm so happy at our fan turnout. It was so loud in here, especially when we started fighting back in that second half. It was kind of like a home game, and I really huge shout out to the fans. Thank you guys so much for showing out for us.
Now, what helped our fan base today was there was a lot of guys in red and yellow cheering for us because they don't like Baylor.
Yeah, exactly.
So tomorrow they'll be on the other side. So it's probably more of a 50-50 deal tomorrow, But that was pretty cool. The arena was very loud. I'm sure the Baylor fans were just like,
yeah, no, it was a great environment to play in.
Yeah,
so I'm happy about that.
All right. Do you just get to wander around Vegas a little bit, or
we kind of did that a little bit when we first got here. Not so much yesterday because we wanted to stay off our feet yesterday to be prepared for this game. And today's definitely going to be a day of rest because it's a really quick turnaround playing at 11 o'clock again tomorrow. But yeah, we'll get our legs right. We'll get rested and we'll be ready to come.
All right, man. I'll let you go. I'll let you go at your Chick-fil-A and go scout Iowa State.
That sounds really good.
That's Jasen Green. And again, his segment sponsored by RTI Threads. Go to rtithreads.com. You'll see everything they have to offer. They've got just everything Creighton gear. They got quarter zips, sweatshirts, hats. I've got some great Creighton hats from RTI Threads. All kinds of gear. So check them out. That's rtithreads.com. And they're their exclusive apparel provider of Blue Jay Banner, which is really cool. We want to thank Lou and Jasen Green for joining us. And it's not just a couple of step walk for them to join us either. They've got to go quite a ways down the hall and through 8 different doors and all kinds of things. But hey, thanks to the staff, for the tournament for setting this up for us so we can do these post games for you, because we really want to do this and help you out as much as possible and give you some boots on the ground coverage of the post game show and the games and everything going on with the games. So I want to thank them a lot. It's not just going to be me. We're going to have AJ join us, and we're going to have Mike Rochon chiming in as well. And so here's AJ joining us right now. We'll bring him up. And hey, AJ, how you doing? We're all set. Coach Lou and Jasen Green have been here and got to fill us in on what happened in the game and everything else. And I don't think there's a whole lot of secrets. Everything. Hello, Michael.
Hey.
So I'd love to hear your guys' thoughts on the game.
Well, my first thought, I'm going to put the bad aside for a minute. The good was I feel like we have a good feeling about who our 5 guys are right now. I mean, they got over 75% of the minutes today. So Green, Greer, Harper, Graves, Dix. I feel like those 5, we finally have some stability in our lineup. That was kind of my main takeaway outside of, again, a few bad things. But I'll just start with that, and then I'll hand it over to you, Mike.
Yeah, I think the first thing that pops off the page to me is the complete 180 in effort from the first half to the second half. And, you play with that sort of effort in the first half, that game's neck and neck. And, it's hard to get into a hole like they did and just continually have to dig out of that hole. That you have to you're exerting so much energy to dig out of that hole that it's tough to get over the top. And you could just tell that, they just made some mental mistakes there because of, the energy that they were exerting to get out of that hole. And, it's a great learning experience, but like, I, I don't know, maybe I'm always a glass half full type of guy, but like, man, that second half was really good. There's a lot of good things to take away from that second half. But again, when you play in a team like Baylor, you have to play like that for 40 minutes.
Yeah.
Like it's not just a 20-minute game against a team the quality of Baylor. So
Yeah, no doubt. And that's, that was my first thought with Lou, and he agreed. He's like, yeah, we gotta do a better job on the boards, but we went with a smaller lineup because we were able to guard better with that smaller lineup. And so we knew we were going to lose some of those rebounds, but we got to get, there was a lot of, like he said, there was 3 of them there. We actually tipped it in, and one was called back because of goaltending, but little things like that happen. I thought there was just balls just bouncing around off the rim in weird ways that they got a rebound. There's nothing we could do. We had the guy boxed out. I mean, and that was not all of them. Not all of them. The difference you could describe it as there was a few of those, that just bounced the way they did. Number 2, they were outsized us, and number 3, that we had some breakdowns in the rebounding. So I think it's all 3.
We were out at both sides for sure. They had 22 boards. That could be, we can't drop it up to just some weak bounces. I mean, that's a lot of offensive rebounds.
Yeah, right. And I said there's 3 different, three segments to it. And, they're I think coming in, we knew we were probably going to get out rebounded. I mean, that wasn't a big shocker. And especially when Owen Freeman didn't play as much as he did. And, frankly, he wasn't really effective today, except at the beginning of the second half. That was a big thing. I tweeted out, I was saying earlier, at halftime, like, hey, this next 5 minutes, Jays fans are all up in the arms, about what was going on. I'm like, hey, look, after that first initial burst, we've played them even, and it hasn't been a fluke. We've played them even. Let's see how this first 5 minutes come. Brilliant move to come out and double team Carr. That got him so rattled. He turned it over twice in a row, and they immediately pulled him out of the game, which let us continue that role. We didn't have to worry so much about him defensively.
Yeah. Just back to the positives a little bit. I'm not much of a blame the refs guy, but I do feel like every time we started to get momentum, there was a questionable call that could have gone either way that killed it immediately. Then on one of those runs, when Carr went out of the game, they called a foul on Graves. Probably shouldn't have been called, and it just killed our momentum from right there. And just seems like we could never get in a roll like the entire game.
Let's come back to that in a second. I just want to say, hey, everybody, thanks for watching. Hit that subscribe and like button. Helps us out a ton. Okay, below, bluejbanner@gmail.com. That's our email. Send an email to that email address. AJ will get you on the show. And anybody who comes on the show today is going to be entered into receiving a $75, basically a gift card to RTI Threads. So a huge gift. So anybody that wants that, what a perfect deal for Christmas. You can spend a bunch of stuff on your family and you don't have to pay for it. Send us an email, bluejbanner@gmail.com, and you can get on the show, and we want to hear your opinions. And AJ, do you have somebody ready to queue up?
I just sent the link.
All right, cool. So that's easy. Now just follow the directions on the link and you can jump right on with us. So just send us an email, bluejbanner@gmail.com. Okay, let's switch to this. Let's go to a sponsor of our Worst Call of the Game segment. That's CareMinders Home Health Care. If you're in need of care for your injured or ill loved ones, check them out. That's CareMinders Home Care. They will do everything for you and really, really, really take all the burden off of you and give you peace of mind. So go to caremindersnebraska.com. You'll see everything they have to offer, and then give them a call, 402-932-2211, and ask them specifically what they can do to help you out. That's caremindersnebraska.com. All right. Worst call. So you wanted on the Graves one, right?
I was saying that was one of them. I think the
Yeah.
worst call potentially could have been the very ticky-tack call at the end where they called it. I think it was on Graves on the out of bounds where he grabbed his jersey.
I don't think that was a foul, and it was clearly out of bounds off them.
It's one of those things where you could call a foul every time down the floor, right? There's always
Right.
going to be some sort of contact, but that was a very minor call. And that changed. I mean, we were down by 2. We could have got the ball back.
The two refs I didn't know, we had Pat Driscoll's a Big East ref, but the other two I didn't really recognize. They seemed to call the one ref, man, he Baylor bench was really on him, man, because there was a couple of really questionable calls that went our way. Now, the one, are you talking about the Graves on the dunk?
No, that was Harper.
That was
a horrific call. He never touched
mine.
There's a free play just talked about.
That was
my worst call of the
horrible.
game. That was brutal.
All 3 of those killed our momentum. It was at all 3 at a time where we were starting to build, and it just killed it.
I think they only, because the ball doesn't lie, I think they only got 1 free throw out of that call. But still.
He did go 1 of 2, yeah.
Look back at the end of the game when it was a 3-point game, it would have been a 2-point game. A lot different, right?
We also figure, Carr went up for that dunk, missed it, went to the ground. Jays got the ball, and they were going up. They would have had, potential 5-on-4 there. Who knows what's going to happen? Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. We had a lot of those. We were 62 all, and we came down and we turned it over. And it was and then didn't Green missed one, I think, that could have cut it to 2 on a fast break,
Yep. For Green to even get the shot up was amazing. That wasn't the best pass. He reached out and snared that with one hand to even get it up on the basket.
He threaded that needle, though.
There
wasn't a lot of room to get that pass through there, and he got it through. I don't know if, just speaking of which, circling back to kind of something Mike said. So I don't know on TV if you could tell, but tremendous, like Jasen said, tremendous crowd today for the Creighton fans. It was about 10-1 Creighton, but what really amped it up was the Iowa State fans. Oh my God, they were going crazy for Creighton because they just hate Baylor. And there was tons of Iowa State fans on the camera side of the court where you were watching the game on TV. And they had a perfect view of that angle. The guys that had the perfect view of that dunk angle, you should have seen the Iowa State fans going nuts over that call. They were they could not believe it. So, it was kind of cool.
And it was a late whistle, too. It wasn't right away. It was almost like, okay, he missed a dunk. He fell to the ground. Okay, now let me make the call.
So, you guys still, really puzzled? Maybe we should have redshirted Hudson?
Oh man.
I said to John Walker, the Omaha World Herald, I go, jokingly now, so don't jump on me about this, but I said to him, I said, hey, Mac wanted to redshirt Doug too his first year. Yeah, Hud was great. I thought I was telling Lou, I thought the toughest shot he made was that 2-pointer late from the baseline. Oh my word, that was closely guarded. That was like, oh wow, kind of moment.
He could arguably work his way into the starting lineup very quickly. He was doing everything. He was rebounding better than most. He was playing defense. He was making shots. He went 7 for 8 from the floor.
Yeah, he was a little shaky at first. Turned it over, lost on defense a couple times, but I think he had 2 turnovers for the game. But boy, yeah, hit some huge threes too. And that spin move on the baseline that's if you go to practice, he works on that move a lot, and that's his patent move. And yeah, great effort. I thought, Dix, I tweeted out that Dix looked great in the warmups, and he did. He was knocking down a lot of shots, and that little, that step back 3 that's right on the line. I did notice something today that I guess maybe I just didn't notice. It's been there and just didn't notice. He was shooting some threes out closer to the logo at center court, which frankly isn't all that far from the top of the key line, but it's still out there ways. Mm-hmm. When he shoots from there, he doesn't come close. but when he's on the line, he makes a ton of them. I mean, that's just something to watch, like for him too, where, Mitch, we're just thinking of Mitch, he could stroke him in from deep, or Ashworth too,
Ashworth.
all the time. But that's somewhere where he's got to get on that line, take that one dribble up and go to the line and then shoot it.
He has a very flat shot.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
so the further he goes, that's going to be so much more difficult.
Yeah. Yeah, but that works in his favor on that little 10, 15-foot
For sure.
turnaround, But I thought he had to have a big game for us, and he did, I mean, we're right there. I mean, if we could take that 62-62 and play that out 10 times, we're going to win a majority of those games. So I'm more encouraged than discouraged today. Let's put it that way, especially with Jackson coming out, All right. We've had only one of these road post games, but today we've got our first caller/viewer joining us. We've got Tyler.
Tyler Piper.
Tyler seems to we have lost. Tyler, are you there? I know you're on mute, Tyler, so you might want to unmute yourself. All right. Well, we'll catch up with Tyler here in a little bit. Have him come back in and
hey, Tim, one thing, you talked about that tough shot that Hudson hit there late in the game. What I want to know is, like, who on Creighton's team is going to take that shot? That's what impressed me the most about Hudson. Like, we've kind of talked about, like, who's that guy? Who's that late in the game, late in the shot clock guy that wants to take the shot? And for Hudson to take that shot and make it, that's big time. And that's something to grow as the season goes.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. So, back to worst call. So I would vote for that dunk call on the foul there. I thought there was, I agree with AJ. There was 3 calls today that were really, and frankly, we've done this, how many games on this post-game show? We've had 0, like, really, calls where we said, oh, that was a bad call, even though it was maybe a blowout 15, 20-point game. We've had nothing. Today we had a bunch. And to me, when you have bad calls and you complain about them after the game a little bit, to me, that means that was a highly competitive game that was on the line and, teams playing for it. So
absolutely.
All right. So I'm sorry, AJ, you're outvoted. We're going for the dunk call.
That's fine.
Anyway, that's sponsored by CareMinders Home Health Care. If you're in need of care for your injured ill loved one, count on CareMinders as personal providers for your loved one. We can help them with grooming, dressing, meal preparation, all this and more. Gives you the break you deserve too. So go to caremindersnebraska.com, see all they have to offer, and then give them a call, 932-2211, and check out everything they have. So how about, by the way, just as a side note, no minutes for Ty Davis today. Interesting. How about unsung hero today?
I mean, I think we got to go with our go-to guy, Jasen Green. Crashed the boards better than anybody. Played great defense all game. To play essentially out of position, he was guarding the 5 a lot. I don't think it was even really close on that regard.
I'm trying to think if there was anyone else you could, Blake kind of got dinged up a little bit, and he really wasn't the same after that. I thought he was a big factor in us kind of hanging where we were in the first half, because I think they had a little bit of problem with him. Like, he was getting to his spot. But again, I think we talked this in a preseason before the games even started with Blake with his shot inside, that he was going to have a little bit of an issue getting that off against bigger guys. And I think today he saw that. I would go with Jasen. Plus, he was a guest on our show today, so there we go. Yeah.
Well, plus,
and
minutes played. I mean, Open only played 9, Door played 8, Austin's played 9, and all played a lot, scored a lot. So.
Yeah, Fedork hit that first three, and I thought, okay, maybe today I'm gonna see him. Don't remember him getting beat badly on defense though. But you know who you could vote for seriously because he just hasn't been able to hit was Isaac Trout today.
That's who I was going to say, but I didn't want everybody to call me a homer for Isaac Trout. So
Isaac will be on our show tomorrow, by the way. So
okay, you know, he got beat a couple times on defense. Actually, man, I know he kind of got lost on that one, but man, I loved him running through that guy setting the screen. I thought that was fantastic. Like just plowing that guy
and
over.
there's another bad call. There's another bad call. I don't think you can review that. You can't review whether or not the guy shot the ball before the foul. I don't think you can review that.
Yeah.
I didn't know if you could, there'd be 5,000 reviews.
Right. Yeah.
Right? It was clearly a foul before the shot. They've always called it a foul before the shot. I don't even know why we were dealing with that.
Yeah, even obviously you were there, but Grant Hill was like, he didn't even have the ball when the guy got plowed. Like, what are we even talking about? So, yeah.
Brush with greatness. Walked right by him twice here in the hallway. I was going to say something, but he was with somebody else. See, Jeff Goodman was here. He's in the Charleston tournament, but he made it here to the tournament here today. I was, by the way, future guest on either Blue Jay Banner, probably on Blue Jay Banner today. Lindsay Schnell. She writes for The Athletic. She's based out of Portland. We were standing in line getting our press pass this morning, and we began a conversation. She's actually from Wayne originally, and I think it was her dad or uncle coached at Wayne State right before McDermott does. So it's kind of like a local connection, but she was with USA Today. Now she's with The Athletic, and she's here covering the tournament. So she's like, yeah, absolutely, I'll come on your show. So we're going to try and catch up with her next week. And it's always great to get a national journalist take on Creighton. We're so wrapped up in it day to day that sometimes we don't see what the average basketball mind sees. And so that'll be a lot of fun. So anyway, go to bluejaybanner@gmail.com. We had a snafu with the first one, but I'm sure it just was a little snafu. Internet's a little bit shaky here. I don't think that was a problem. But hopefully we can get somebody to come on and give us your thoughts on the game because it was a great game. 81-74 Creighton. By the way, since I'm in Vegas, I have to say, oh wow, pretty big dunk by that guy right at the end. That pushed it over the total.
Yeah, I was wondering what that meant. I didn't know the lines or anything like that, but I was just like, I just feel like that dunk meant something.
Well, here's the deal. It's typical sports gambling. That game was going over the entire day, okay? Because it came down. It was at 156 at one time, and it came all the way down to 153. And suddenly, with 2.5 minutes, neither team could score for a whole minute and a half there. I'm like, are you kidding me? This is going to go under, but no. And there was some fouling and free throws, and we made some hoops, and, they had that big bucket at the end that pushed it over. Again, I know there's a million places you can gamble. I mean, what do we got? 5 casinos in the Omaha area now?
Right.
You can go gamble and do any of that stuff whenever you want. There's still nothing like being in Vegas on an NFL Sunday. It's just nothing like it. It's just screaming, yelling, chaos constantly. It's just it's so much fun. It's still nothing like Vegas. Still nothing like Vegas. I'm hearing. I was hearing today too. Actually, this Lindsay told me this. So the Big 12 has actually signed a deal. We've always heard they're going to 32 next year, but they've signed a deal with them where they get more like a piece of the pie. They get some of the equity. And they're going to supply so many teams. And then I also heard from someone, I don't know if this is true or not, that there's 32 teams next year, but there's going to be some pre-games, some, extended tournament games on home sites leading up to this. So in other words, when they come in next year, let's say we play Kansas and I don't know, Duke, let's just say, all right. So, well, we win them both. Okay. Well, then we would be in the 2-0 category, and then they would put us in the number one flight, and then we would play the 8 teams that are number one, and then the next group goes to the next 8, the next 8, the next 8.
So it's really going to be a 4-game tournament, but the last
yeah, it
2
could be
will
5.
be.
It could be 5. It'll be a 5-game. You'll still play the 3 here in Vegas, but it'll kind of like make it a true champion. So, okay, these teams are in the champion. Kind of be like soccer a little bit. You know, you're 2-0. Well, if you go 1-1 next year, you're relegated to the second or third or fourth tier. You know, and so you'll have 4 tiers. You'll have consolation A, consolation B, consolation C type thing, and then you'll have a champion. You know, so I hope they do it. That sounds reasonable to me. And I sure hope they do it that way. All right. What else? We got tomorrow. Mike and I are going to do a preview show tomorrow morning on Iowa State, but we'll give you a little hint. Lipsy. Yeah, they were talking about Lipsy. Lou was talking about Lipsy and how he's just a winner. You know, that's first of all. So, he thinks he does think though that the fact that we played against their bigs, so he goes, there'll be no secrets tomorrow. We played enough of Iowa State and know enough of what they want to do. It's not going to be a secret. They want you to go to the baseline, and we're not going to go there. And then secondly, our bigs, which was the problem today, like, yeah, some of their guards got downhill on us, but I mean, it was the offensive rebounds we gave up that killed us. They're going to know what goes on with, you know, the bigs for Iowa State. So he goes, I think there's going to be a little bit of comfort, especially a guy like Owen Freeman played against Iowa State every year, right? So he's going to be comfortable with those guys. We're going to have a sense of comfort. The sense today was, by the way, I was shocked. It was only a 3.5 point spread. I was like, yeah, I just didn't think they were taking into consideration Jackson's injury very much. But most of the consensus around the arena before the game started was that Creighton had to kind of win this one to get to where they wanted to be here. But I think we got a shot at Iowa State tomorrow. I really do. I think we'll be comfortable, especially the way we played the last 30 minutes today. I think that really, really gave us something to go by.
I think we really got to nail down. I mean, to the point, got to nail the center position. I feel like we're kind of at loss right now. Like Freeman played 9 minutes, Curtin played 12, Trepp played 12, Green mostly played the 5 he was in. I just feel like we got to nail that down.
Well,
I think the biggest missing piece.
I think we're going to see that though, you know, depending on like today. The only reason they went with Green is because their switches were killing the other two bigs, Owen and Kareem. I mean, we were getting killed by it where Jasen could guard it a little better. So that's the only reason we went small. We knew we were going to give up, like Lou said. He goes, I know we were going to give up rebounds there, but you know, a little update here, and I'm going to go out to the arena and watch the second half of this. St. John's up 36-31 over Iowa State. Kansas over there at the MGM is up 59-53 over Notre Dame. Frankly, I'm surprised it's that close. Even though Kansas is shorthanded, I still thought they would handle Notre Dame pretty easily. Tennessee whomped Rutgers, who's not very good, in the opener over at the MGM. And then tonight, I'd be 8:30 Omaha time. Get in front of your TV. Watch this Alabama-Gonzaga game. I'm going over. I'm making the trek over to MGM to watch that one. That's going to be a terrific game.
You going to be able to talk to Marcus?
I'm going to try and get there early. Yeah, I'm going to talk to Marcus and Preston.
Preston, yeah.
I've had a pretty good relationship with Preston over the years. So he usually comes up and greets me right away. So,
are you taking a BJB party bus?
No, it's just down the street. We don't need to take a party bus.
Okay. Just checking.
The people that wanted the party bus aren't even here. So I don't know what their deal is. So
I mean,
they're going to be here when they argued for the party bus. But this whole town's this whole town's a party bus. Okay.
Right. Well, for the Big East tournament, we'll make up for it.
The what?
The Big East tournament.
Oh, again, not a place you want to take a party bus. God, that traffic would be a nightmare. Plus, everybody always stays walking distance of the garden, so there's so many hotels around. It's easy to get to. Okay. Got some stats, AJ?
Of course we do. Analytics
All right.
by AJ, sponsored by AJ. Here we go. For 20 from the floor, 38% from 3, 7 for 58 and field goals, 47%, which honestly, those are not bad. 9 for 10
Yeah.
from the free line.
We'll take that. But I think we lost AJ. You still there, Mike?
I am, yes.
Okay. I think we lost AJ. You were getting your reception was going a little bit in and out there. Yeah, now I can't hear you.
Can you hear me now?
There you go.
All right. So now to the bad. 13 turnovers versus 10. So we lost that battle. And what's even worse is the points off turnovers. They got 14 versus our 6. And that 8 points makes up the spread of the game.
Yeah,
So
they
that was
didn't have
huge.
too many. They didn't have too many pick sixes though.
They had quite a few. They had a few in the second half, especially when it was down to the wire too, which hurt.
I'd have to watch the game again. I don't remember that many. But
We lost the
most of those turnovers were on ball like turnovers where they didn't race it down the floor. So anyway,
yeah,
go
we
ahead.
lost the rebounding battle 28 to 45. Of their 45, 22 of those were offensive, 23 defense.
That's
that's
there.
Another big number there. We only had 12 assists, which feels maybe on average or a little low for us. And then also we had more fouls than them, which feels weird, especially with a team like Baylor, who's that athletic. And we had 15 fouls. They only had 12, and they got to the free throw line more than us. So
I think we had to foul them just because, like you said, their athleticism. But that was a weird thing too. In the second half, it was like 4-1 at one point. I thought, oh, here we go again, Creighton not fouling, and then all of a sudden, boom, we were at eight fouls. It was like,
yeah. And then I got some individual stats I thought stood out too. I mean, Josh Dix, 1 for 5 from 3. I'm glad it seems like that was his second or third 3 in the whole season. But still 20%. But he did it with 15 points, 7 for 13 from the floor, and he played almost 40 minutes. He played over 39 minutes. So I thought that was noteworthy. Hudson Greer, 16.7 from the floor, 2 for 2 from 3 boards. And then, Owen Freeman, 9 minutes, 4 points, 1 turnover. He had a good blast in the start of the second half, but other than that, it was pretty quiet. And then Dorr only played 8 minutes, and Ty Davis, like you mentioned, 0 minutes. So all noteworthy things I thought happened.
Yeah, it's tough. I was kind of surprised. I thought the energy again kind of shifted when Fedor and Hudson came in that first half. I thought that they kind of flipped the energy a little bit, and I was surprised Fedor didn't get more run in the second half. I know that we went a little bit smaller, so maybe you're worried about him guarding and rebounding and things like that, but I was surprised he didn't get, like towards the end there, Schwartz got the call instead of Fedor, which I was kind of surprised. And then Owen, he got off to that great start, and then they ran that great play, and he threw the pass one-handed from up here that they stole. I was like, oh God, he might not get back in the game after that. And I don't think he did.
Agreed. Tim?
But looks like Tim's having some microphone some technical difficulties here in Vegas. So I just it was, again, like I said at the beginning, like it was just they played so well in the final 20 minutes, but you just got tired and made some mental, some fatigue errors, and that's frustrating, like we talked about, when you're right there and you have a chance to win a game, or steal one that maybe you shouldn't have won. So yeah, it's just tough, but I think I'm a little bit more excited about that than I was coming out of that North Dakota game. So saw some shots go in the basket, which was nice.
Yeah, I'll end with this thought too. Every single year, last couple of years, we've been really down on the team the first couple months of the year. I think we have some feeling here. I feel like maybe just on paper but we have more talent than I think we have in the past. And I think as soon as we start to put together the unit, I think the team still has a very high ceiling. I just hope we can start to get there before it gets too late. Because, the tournament is a hard tournament to make. And especially with the big having a year, we can get maybe a huge tomorrow, I would say, it'd be ginormous for our resume. We got to get something going quick. And, like I said, I think this team is more talented than the past, so we got to start it together and make it fun. I'm high.
Yeah,
The last couple years. Blend with anything else, Mike?
Yeah, I mean, I completely agree with what you just said, but at some point, we got to win one of these games. We got to get something on that resume with the Big East being down. Hey, Seton Hall just got a big dub over NC State in their holiday or the Thanksgiving tournament. So that's awesome.
Yeah, that for the conference. Well, Tim is having technical difficulties and asked us to wrap this up, so let's do just that.
All right.
Thank you, Day.